السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome here to an episode of Gaza Massacre. As you all know, I don't like using the word welcome when we're speaking about this situation. This is a massacre that's been taking place over the last couple of days. People are dying, death toll over 400 plus, thousands injured. I have with me today to speak about this somebody who's worked for many years in international relations, especially working in the peace effort too. We have with us Ambassador Adil Al-Adawi. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for being with us on Gaza Massacre. You've got experience in foreign relations. You an ardent follow up the peace movement or trying to get something through peaceful means. Can I start by asking you, are the Palestinian people ever going to win over this situation in a peaceful way?
I'm sure they are going to win, and I'm sure they already sacrificed a lot. The Palestinians for so many years just showed that they are very strong people who can suffer. I don't see any other people who suffered like the Palestinians with their very little resources. They were able to show to the international community that those people, they are wonderful people. They can sacrifice everything for their own country. So I think they already showed a lot of activities that they are ready to sacrifice. And what we are need now is to see how we can support the Palestinians. How we can support the Palestinians in a way that they could achieve more, they can achieve much better life. They can live like normal people. They cannot wait for long just to sacrifice, and every day they lose parts of their country. We already missed a lot of opportunities. And that's why I see this is time we can realize something with a peaceful means. Already the Palestinians show that they are ready to sacrifice, and they can sacrifice more, and they can live more with all these terrible lives that they are living now. And I see that with this means they can develop, because I feel that now for the first time in the history of the Palestinian crisis there is an international consensus, there is international belief that the only way to bring peace to this area is to create a two-state next to each other, a Palestinian state next to an Israeli state. And that's why, as I told you, this is the first time we have now an international community which is supporting that. And there is a few days ago a Security Council resolution supporting a two-state solution. And also I feel from following things that the majority of the Israeli people now they accept the Arab Peace Initiative, and they are ready to implement it. But of course there is a lot of elements inside Israel. They don't like that. They can create problems, so they can stop this majority inside the Israeli people to expand. They want it to be less. That's why they will look for any reason to do more problems. So we have to be careful. we have to be careful not to give those Israelis the reason to do harm to the Palestinians, to harm our hope to create a Palestinian state next to Israel.
Okay, Ambassador, I'm going to stop you here now, because
Yes.
see, many people are watching,
Yes.
and they'll be saying, well, hold on, Ambassador.
Yes.
Since 1948, really
Yes.
since the signing of 1970 of the Balfour Declaration, since 1948 anyway,
Yes.
since the UN recognized, so 1947 shall we say,
Yes.
they've been fighting over 60 years, been occupied by a foreign people who have been supported by international communities, by international countries who have committed crimes with this occupying force. They've lost family members, sons, daughters, aunties, uncles. They've lost land. They're living in refugee tents, while across the border people are living a life like in America or any part of the Europe, a beautiful, serene life. I don't want peace, says the Palestinian. Hamas says, we don't want peace, we want our land back. We don't want these people who have been here for many years, they don't have a right to our land, they're killing us. We don't want to live next to them, we want them to go. What do you say to this?
You see, I agree with the Palestinians that they don't believe on those people. Those people, since 1947, they are gaining lands, putting more settlements, and in 67 they occupied Gaza, all Palestine.
Bank, yeah.
And but I cannot just go on doing things and don't believe things. You know, most Israelis, they say to the international community, Palestinians, they don't want peace. They just want to shell us with rockets. They just create terrorist activities. And I think, especially now after 2001, with everyone knew that our image is not the same before. They mix Islam with terrorism, and we became in a very terrible situation because of these little acts. They have their means. They are controlling the media all over the world, and we don't want to give them more reasons. They think, but I think Israelis, they are very normal people, and we can live with them. Even we can overcome things, but we have to use logic things, which has to be accepted also to the international community. We are now living in a very small village. We are so connected. We have to realize that we have to understand how we can get the support of the international community to support us. But we went, as you said, to many Security Council resolutions, many General Assembly resolutions, and they always condemning Israel, but nothing happened. I think, from my personal experience, I feel we have to go straight to the public opinion inside Israel. For instance, I admire the way Mahmoud Abbas is doing. Mahmoud Abbas, he declared before going to the election what is his policy. He had a plan. He has a plan. He declared it before the Palestinian elected him. He declared that I'm going to realize a Palestinian state next to Israel with peaceful means.
Okay, now we're going to stop in these peaceful means, because many people may be turning in the graves listening that Mahmoud Abbas is somebody we see, unfortunately, many people are saying, as an enemy towards what's going on. But we're going to open this up, and this is the reason we're having this talk, to discuss this. I have with me now Dr. Hatim Al-Hajj, mashallah, one of the scholars of Huda TV. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Dr. Hatim, Jazakallah khair for being with us on the program of the Gaza massacre. Dr. Hatim, this program goes out live in Gaza to the people of Palestine, actually goes out to the majority of the world. What's your sentiments about what you're seeing, and what's your message you have for our brothers and sisters in Palestine?
Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. First of all, what's happening is extremely tragic, and it's a crime against humanity that is quite obvious to anyone who has any impartiality, anyone who has any decency, anyone who has any logic, anyone who has any humanity left inside him, or kindness left in his heart. Certainly, my sentiments now are sentiments of pain and anger. However, I would like to say that the anger has to be directed first at ourselves. I should be angry with myself first, because it is our collective incapacity, it's our collective shortcomings, it's our collective departure from the deen of Allah that's led the Ummah to where it is now. So we have to be first angry with ourselves. It's easy to project your anger and your feelings on others, but that's not what will move us forward. So these are my sentiments. We have to prevent ourselves from allowing the events, the tragic events, to cause us complete incapacity. Because certainly, it is debilitating to continue to watch what is happening on the screen, debilitating to the point of complete incapacity. But we should stop ourselves from reaching that point, otherwise we'll be helpless to ourselves and to our brethren.
Dr. Hatim, if I could ask you, this incapacity, because we're watching these things every day on the TV, and it's becoming something that's shock and awe, but becomes normal to us. What's your advice? How do we go about doing this? How does a brother, a sister, maybe living thousands, millions of miles away, thousands of miles away from what's going on, how does he get involved, and how does he turn this concern into an influence?
Well, I think the helplessness will not help anyone at this point. The powerlessness and the incapacity will not be of any benefit. I think that the brothers and sisters, we have to be together. We have to be, I think that people need to go to the masajid, and they need to be together. It's a time where you should not stay alone, even if you live thousands of miles away. Even if the closest masjid is 50 miles away from you, go to the masjid and be with your brethren. That would make it easier on you. I'm not saying easier to say that we should just pacify ourselves until the disaster goes by. I'm trying to say that we have to develop a plan. And like anything else, you've got to have short-term and long-term plans. And the short-term plan that will make you feel like you're contributing, like you're not completely powerless, for our brothers and sisters all over the world, supplication, dua, to make dua for them, to pray extra 2 rakahs at night, and to make dua. I think everyone can do this, but I think that this is not enough. And I think that people need to voice their opinions regarding what's happening, and they need to make the people all over the world aware of what is happening, because you want to recruit supporters for the just case of Palestine from people all over the world. Ultimately, victory will come from within. Ultimately, we cannot always be dependent on victory from outside. But you do need to have supporters from outside, and you do need to have sympathizers from all over the world. And it does not stop here. You also want to contribute materially. You want to go to relief organizations that are legal and legitimate, so that you don't put yourself in harm's way. Go to Islamic Relief Foundation, go to ICNA Relief, go to any relief foundation in your country, your respective country, that will deliver help to the people for this humanitarian crisis.
Okay, Dr. Hatem Al-Hajj, I've got to stop you there. Jazakallah khair for ringing us today, to be with us today on this program. I know you're calling all the way from America. We really do appreciate it. Jazakallah khair. With that, we're going to take a short break and inshallah return in a couple of minutes on the Gaza massacre. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Gaza Massacre. We've been speaking about the oppression and how to get around this oppression, this tyranny that we are seeing daily on our screens. The professor here, mashallah, has given us an insight into looking at a peaceful resolution. Many people say that, Ambassador Adil, they say that a peaceful resolution with Mahmoud Abbas is not going to work. For the main reason it's not going to work is because the Hamas-led majority of people, they don't want what Mahmoud Abbas wants. They want to fight to the end. Is this going to work?
Yes, if fight will bring us our rights, okay, we have to do it. But or if you look at what is on the ground, you see, they are controlling everything. They are controlling everything going to Gaza. Then how you will be able to fight to get your rights? They are controlling all around you. So they will not give you the chance to even to do something against them.
Okay, if we look at the history of Palestine, I mean, you can just open up this slightly, we'll see that they've always been, since, of course, the PLO were recognized, and they recognize themselves. And this is quite an important point. I mean, our viewers are more intelligent than myself on this issue, that when the Palestinian state was recognized, they came outside Al-Aqsa Masjid and they stood up and they declared themselves that we are now an independent state. We are self-recognition. We don't want to be recognized by the UN. The main reason they did this, I mean, at that particular time, was because, like I've got in my hand still, these 131 Security Council resolutions and the General resolutions of 440 or 38 now, I believe, they've never done anything for them. This is a peaceful roadmap. The peaceful roadmap is following this kind of agenda. It's never worked. What else do we have left? This is what they're saying.
But this is not the right conclusion of things. This is because we, for instance, from 1948 till now, we were going to, for instance, in 67, we just closed the entrance of the Red Sea to the Al Khalij. So, and then we give the Israelis the reason to do something. What I'm saying, I agree with you. If you have the power, then do whatever you like. But you cannot leave your people suffering all the time and you wait till something which it will not be able to be done.
So can I summarize it by saying that we should at least find a settlement that will bring at least a temporary solution for a certain amount of a time at least? Is this somewhere to go towards, not a final settlement, because even a final settlement we can't work on. I mean, West Bank was given back, it's taken over again. I mean, it's given back now, of course, but Gaza's been taken over again, occupied territory, they're still building. And one of the problems that people find, I'm sure you're going to go against this, but Mahmoud Abbas and all the others, when they work with the Israelis and the UN, what happens? Settlements increase. It's like we're giving you a chance to increase at this time.
From our experience in Egypt, they used to keep the negotiation between Sadat and the others. Till the last moment, they were saying we will not leave the settlement. And then Sadat was about to leave there, but then at the last moment they were able to say, okay, we will leave all settlement in Sinai. In negotiation, you talk, and you have to be strong in your position and so on. So what I mean is just give a chance to the new arrangement of Mahmoud Abbas. For the first time, as I told you, now we have the international community supporting two-state solution, which was not existing
But
before.
then again, the two-state solution, as you know, the two-state solution for many, many years. Yasser Arafat, Bill Clinton, you know him, he stood there. I mean, think about it, they've always been pushing for this two-state solution. But the final settlement, and the problem is the final settlement includes occupied territory. And occupied territory, to this day,
Yes.
I mean, you said earlier on, and I wanted to hold you, but I wanted to let you go because you have a right to speak about how you think peace is going to happen. But I'll give you an example. You said, for example, the Israeli people want peace now. If 8% of the Israeli people are actually in the armed forces or temporary armed forces, if the Israeli people are the ones who are voting in people such as Ariel Sharon, may Allah give him what he deserves, a long and painful death. Someone like this and others like this, I mean, the Palestinians are never going to work for this. I mean, they can never work with the foresight.
Please, I think the only way now, if we want, really, I feel the sacrifices of the Palestinians, and I see the only hope for the moment under the situation on the ground. The only way is to give Abbas the chance to realize or a two-state solution. Give him a chance, and then he is now starting negotiating, and he is going on into a lot of details. We give him just time, because otherwise we will give the Israelis the reason to do more.
Is Abu Mazen not?
And they will be supported by the international community, and then we will see nothing. We lost a lot of opportunities.
Okay, these opportunities lost.
Yes.
Are we going to take those opportunities back by Mahmoud Abbas? Because really, he's really a puppet in this. I mean, some people say that Abu Mazen is returning, okay, after the flattening of Gaza. After Gaza's totally flattened, the international community, the Arabs, will hail Abu Mazen as a leader of the Palestinian people. Let's not speak about Mahmoud Abbas. Let's go back to Abu Mazen. I mean, really truthfully, what we're saying is, aren't we saying that Israel, the United States, and its allies in this particular endeavor are mapping out exactly what we want, and we just have to be patient with it? The Palestinian people have to be patient. It's not peace, it's patience that we're looking for.
I think so. It will be, if they follow the peaceful arrangement, they will get their rights in few months' time. I could tell you something. I was in Ramallah last month.
Okay.
Despite, it is under occupation. For instance, Gaza. Gaza, it is all the Israeli army left Gaza. All the settlements, they're out of Gaza. Even the temples of the Jewish people, it was not existing anymore. So they left everything. But after a few months, they started to send some missiles. So inside the Israeli community, they will say, those people, if we leave all the land for them, then their future will be, very not quite clear. So let us understand that we have now an Israeli state there, and there is a public opinion there. And we have to convince this public opinion that they could coexist together. As I told you, I was in Ramallah, and I visited factories. One factory is doing medicine, for instance, while the people in Gaza, they are looking for a small medicine. There, under occupation, they are having a factory, a modern factory. They are even export medicine. Something else. I have meetings with a lot of businessmen there. They said, we work under a very difficult situation. But with logic things, they were able to do a lot of activities despite all these pressures. That's why I am really, I really, all Palestinians, I feel they are part, they have a part here in my heart. And I would like very much to see them living much better circumstances. So we cannot leave Gaza like that, say, we will not leave except if you leave Israel.
Okay, well, Ambassador Adil, Aladoy, it's very nice speaking to you. I mean, it's a different view you're giving.
I'm sorry, but...
and just to point, and we're going to leave it today, we're running really out of time, but
Yeah.
we really appreciate you coming and speaking about this. And the reason we're having this conversation is that it's good to see where people are coming from, where other thought processes are. It's not always good just to stick on one side. We need to know what's going on around us and the thoughts and views of others. So we jazakallah khair for coming on Gaza Massacre. But I will say one thing, it's still an occupied land, not an Israeli state. And with that, I leave you with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.